This afternoon we have two speakers, Gerald Choo and Alvin Yong. Gerald Choo, his experience has been in the business of pharmaceuticals, rehab and medical nutrition, which spans over 30 years of his career life. Now he's devoted to the interest of preventive health awareness and wants to elevate its education through partnering with specialists and experts to expound the myth from the facts. And we have Alvin Yong. He leads an international distribution network for Avita, and he has been instrumental in the consumer education and marketing of Celergen Swiss Marine Supplement since the launching of the product in 2009. Alvin has a wealth of experience and testimonies to share with us today. So now I present to you Gerald Choo and Alvin Yong.
Hi, welcome to this talk on cellular health on a beautiful Sunday. Type 1 if you want to say hello, good afternoon, good Sunday, or whatever. Come, everybody, just, yeah, thank you. Yeah, get yourself a cup of afternoon hot tea while we share tips on how to improve our health and to also prevent chronic illnesses, okay, by taking care of our cells, the small little cells in our body. And also we will share how Celergen Swiss Marine Supplement, it is really one of the best tools that is to help us to do that, all right? Now, we are going to share informations here, but it is for information's purpose only, and it should not replace your doctor's advice, all right? And all the testimony here are based on actual experiences by our clients, and they are for illustrative purposes only. Right, my name is Alvin Yong. I'm very happy to have the opportunity to meet so many people here, over 100 people from different countries on a beautiful Sunday afternoon in Singapore, yeah. See, while we live in really a much modern era than yesteryears, we have higher technology, we have better convenience, and we have greater comfort in almost every aspect of our life. However, we seem to be also living with a larger buffet, a bigger spread of chronic diseases that threaten all our health. Research documented over 12,500 types of chronic illnesses that are very commonly suffered by human beings. But really, unlike acute illnesses like SARS or like the COVID-19 that we are facing now, that can kind of like hit you out of the blue, a great number of chronic illnesses are actually preventable. Now, provided we have the awareness and also the know-how to steer clear of them. Now, there's this survey here that says that in Singapore, over an extended period of time, almost 2 decades, and it found that today's older folks here in Singapore are far less healthier than folks that are 20 years ago. Well, this is in modern Singapore, where we have a reasonably good and high standard healthcare system in place. So it's pretty scary that by the age of 60, many adults here are going to carry about 3 or more of chronic illnesses, and including the 3 highs. And just now I saw that quite a number of the viewers here are having the 3 highs as well. Now the 3 highs are really not good news, yeah? Because they are the precursors that if you are not carefully contained or controlled, it can lead on to deadly diseases like heart attack, stroke, and even kidney failure. So it just doesn't make sense to me that, you know, we spend all our youth building up our wealth and then only to spend all the money that we save up and to pay for medical and hospital bill. Now, money is just one thing, right? But the suffering, right? Needing caregiver, wheelchair bound or sick bed bound, you know, in our old age, that's really not a good idea. Because besides the suffering for the individual, the entire family, the wealth and the financial means could all be drained out, and on top of it is highly stressful and very, very draining. Now, it's not only in Singapore. This lady here, attorney, Olivia. She's from the Philippines. Her daughter, who is right beside her, the pretty lady there, is a doctor herself. Now, she has 6 different types of chronic illnesses for many, many years. And she has to take 10 different maintenance medicine on a daily basis. Does it happen only in Philippines? No. Singapore. This is Mr. Tan Han Yong, one of our friends. He actually worked in a hospital, but that didn't prevent him from getting all these health concerns. Now, people like Han Yong and attorney Olivia are actually pretty common amongst many, many of our friends. And maybe some of you listening here now, right? So if you can identify with Han Yong and you can identify with attorney Olivia, you could just type me and see if we have how many of the people there with such concern as well, right? Or maybe in your family, yeah, right? You could just type in and we'll see how many of us here. Oh, we have one. Oh, is a doctor as well. Okay, right? So let me ask you.
Alvin, you are muted.
Now, am I unmuted now? Thank
Okay
you.
now.
Yep, thank you. Yeah. Now, if you have yourself or some loved one in your family with multiple chronic illnesses, which will you prefer, A, B, or C? Finding one solution for one problem at a time, or finding several solutions for several things at the same time? Or C, finding one solution for all the conditions at the same time? Which will you choose, A, B, or C? Well, everybody is typing C. Yeah, of course. I mean, we all would love to have something like that, isn't it? Right? But is there something like that? Now, I would like to share with you some real stories here, and I hope that all the information and the story we share today will go in some way to help many of us to find new solutions to a very common problem that many of us have. We talked about just now this lady, attorney Olivia, at the age of 77 in year 2015, that's 5 years ago. Olivia was in critical condition due to congestive heart failure. Now her daughter, Dr. Diona, the lady beside her, tried everything. Actually was close to running out of options. Yeah. And so she recalled that a friend told her about Celergen many months before that. Well, she started her mother on Celergen, but to her pleasant surprise, her mother's condition began to show signs of improvement. Well, she got well enough to be discharged within less than a month, and went on to receive her Lifetime Achievement Award for lawyers. Now, I personally met Olivia finally in year 2018. That's 3 years after that. I was so happy that in her 80 at that point in time, she was in the pink of health and even danced a little bit with me. And that was really a pure joy and happiness for me, because in this business, it's really about helping someone to get back on her feet. Yeah. How about this gentleman, Mr. Tan Han Yong, our friend? Yeah. Thanks to Mary here, Han Yong started to give Celergen a try. That is in the year of 2018. And over the next 1 year, he experienced improvement to his overall wellness, his well-being, and most of his chronic conditions have also improved as well. See, while we know what diseases are and we can name plenty of them, but they are but the iceberg on the surface. Now, many of us are not trained and we do not have the awareness of what actually happened underneath the ocean, right? And we have things like inflammation, we have things like hormonal imbalance, we have things like mitochondrial dysfunctions. Many of these are quite foreign to many, many of us. Now, do you know that as a human being, you got started as one single stem cell. And then from that one cell, it start to multiply and it start to regenerate. And then it get on to about 100 trillion cells in our body. We have all kinds of cells in our body. We have the blood cells, we have the nerve cells, we have the immune cells, you have cells that are responsible for beating of the heart, to transportation of the oxygen around your body, to signaling of between cells, for example. So there's a lot of all the micro processes within our body, all the biological chemical processes in our body that make us blink our eye, beat our heart, digest our food. It's all workings of the cells. So I would like to share with you that, in my opinion, there's all the diseases that we know of. There may be thousands and thousands of them, but we can boil them down to only one disease, and that is the illness of the cells. Some functions of the cells are somehow not working properly. Now, at this point, I would like to invite Gerald to come on. Gerald, could you share with us what are some of the reasons for cells not functioning with your 30 years of pharma background, Gerald?
Thank you, Alvin. Yeah. Basically, there are two main areas whereby the cells go into a bit of a problem. One is that due to toxicity, and it's about deficiency. All right. And in both of these areas, in today's environment, it exerts a big toll in our body, which ends up stressing all our cells. Not only pollution from the air, from the water, but also the food that we take in. Laden with heavy chemicals, many of us are on long-term chemical drugs. And who can live without Wi-Fi? It's 24/7, and we are being irradiated all the time. And in terms of quality of food intake, many suffer from an imbalanced diet, and therefore our cells suffer from deficiencies. And with the increased stress from the environment, as you can see the chart over here, the diagram from the environment, we get bombarded by a great many more free radicals in our body, into our body that is. And I know we all like free things, but not this free thing. Free radicals that there are free radicals in the body, but some are still useful for signaling purposes. However, if too many of them, it's gonna be bad news for us in our own body. They cause us oxidative stress, which means simply cells will start to be damaged and literally quickens our aging process within. Likened to an iron rod, if it get oxidized, what will happen? Oxidized means it will start to rust. Okay, so visualize this. What free radicals and oxidation can do that cause our body to start, in a way you can say, rusting from the inside out. And with the DNA damage within the cell, it will lead to two things. One, it will turn off certain things, and it will turn on certain things. What it will turn off? It will turn off the good genes that help to regulate our metabolism, our body chemistry, and hormonal imbalance. And you know that what that means, turning off? That all this means your chemical converting into food and energy all will be somewhat disrupted. And turning off your hormonal means you're gonna get likely to be overweight slowly, to get fatigue more, increased sensitivity to cold and hot. You're gonna get problem with your stomach constipation, more frequent bowel movement even. You're gonna have dry skin, puffy face, weight loss, and the things goes on, and your heart rate will be disrupted. Not say disrupted, I would say, but it will be decreased or increased. Okay, so turning on is one thing, turning off is one thing, but now what you're gonna turn on? The bad genes. The bad genes that will develop abnormal cell growth, which leads to all kinds of chronic illnesses known to us, including cancer. So you're turning on all these. So if we allow free radicals to wreak havoc in our body system, what will start? Inflammation will commence. And it will be from different parts of the body and at different stages. Over time, it develops into what you call chronic inflammation. Then that will be a scary start to various conditions known to us. All the chronic diseases of the heart, the kidneys, the autoimmune system, cancerous cells developing, etc., on and on. So Alvin, what can we do to turn around this threat to our health?
Hi, can you hear me now? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So the solution we say is we nourish the cell, because if the cells are healthy, the cells will be able to function as per its original design. And this is what we call the cellular therapy. Now, due to all the stresses and the free radical that Gerald just mentioned, our cells actually degenerate over time. Now, each generation of new cells becoming poorer, and what we normally call this is aging, right? Degeneration is, in a common term, is aging. So as the cells become poorer, cells functions get weaker. Subsequent daughter cells and subsequent generation of daughter cells become weaker and weaker. And then that will basically result in illnesses of all kinds. So what we do in cell therapy is that first, we are able to get in there and we intercept and we prevent further worsening of the cell's condition. Second, we bring into repair and maintenance mode so that cellular health will become better and better. And finally, we rebuild and rejuvenate the cells to function more healthily again. Now, this has been made possible with a Switzerland technology called Celergen. Now, research and development in Switzerland, Celergen is actually a Swiss marine nutritional supplement. Now, it's a supplement, it's a food, not for our body, but it's literally for all our cells. And Celergen has worldwide accreditation, as you're seeing here, including the Switzerland's free sale certifications. And this cert says that this product is certified to meet all the criteria, the stringent criteria in Switzerland, that is not only sellable outside of Switzerland, it is also allowed to be sold within Switzerland. And that is actually a very high standard certification. Also, every batch of Celergen that is made are actually sent to BSCG, which stands for Banned Substances Control Group, which is a world governing body for anti-doping, for testing and certifying that all the Celergens are free from drugs and as well as banned substances. Now, Celergen is actually brought to you and the world by Avita. Avita is a Singapore company launched in Singapore in 2007. Avita distribution network spans 9 countries across Asia. We are very, very grateful to Miss Li Xiangying, the lady you see on the screen now. She's the founder and the CEO of Avita. She has the vision and also the foresight many, many years ago, more than a decade ago, to invest in the creation of Celergen in Switzerland. And finally leading to the birth and the launch of Celergen in Singapore in year 2009. So this is the 11th year of Celergen's service to the world now. Now, Celergen has numerous active ingredients that are basically DNA extracts from deep sea marine ocean fish. Now, these major active ingredients, they are all natural. They are blended together in a synergistic manner to provide the highest premium nourishment for our cells, so that our cells are able to get this nourishment and then be able to regenerate and repair themselves healthily. Now, Celergen has numerous ingredients that are super antioxidant. Now, many of us have heard about antioxidant. Now, they work together like an army and they provide protections to the cells, yeah? Now, I know that many people have heard this term antioxidant, but I'm not sure how many people really understand what antioxidant are. I would like to invite Gerald, okay, to educate all of us. Gerald, why are antioxidants important, and especially so now? And why are antioxidants important, especially for cells and also for our overall health?
Thank you, Alvin. Yeah, relating to what Alvin has mentioned, there are all these components that encompasses Celergen. we don't sell on ingredients. No one goes on one ingredient only. But when you mash them together and put it in such a way, you're going to get something wonderful. So let's go into each and every item just to understand what are the benefits that you're going to have. So yes, with today's external environment filled with radiation waves 24/7 and induced stress, all the unbalanced diet in our bodies are bombarded by all the free radicals as mentioned, and with greater intensity time. So the crucial intake of antioxidant will carry excess electrons. This means they will neutralize all these free running radicals in our body. So before supplementing with high quality antioxidant, it is necessary to protect against the oxidative stress, which I mentioned earlier, the rusting inside, and to reduce damage to our cells. So in one clinical study, Celergen BioDNA Cellular Marine Complex is proven effective for asthenia, which means loss of strength and energy. And in that open clinical study of about 44 asthenic adults compared to 32 normal adults, they are looking at 60 of the symptoms in asthenia. That means loss of strength and energy. And they have a 15 cutoff point. You have asthenic adults which are 15 or more having these symptoms, and you have those who are healthy who have 15 or less in terms of the symptoms present. And what happens? The consumption of the bio-DNA cellular marine complex by these subgroup of patients with these conditions reduced by 62%. That's very high of the physical asthenic symptoms. So in 58 out of 60 symptoms were improved, and many of those debilitating symptoms were particularly diminished. Then you ask, so what about in a wider scale? So in a wider scale, if you have, there is this global data collated, and they found that the bio-DNA cellular marine complex contributes to 52.4% in terms of its positive action. With that, it has a remarkable recovery in strength and energy. Also, at the same time, the bio-DNA cellular marine complex is effective for osteoarthritis, the joint pains that you have. All right. In an open study, they took 2,960 patients, which is a big study, affected by inflammatory joint pain with an average of 61 years old, and received 1 to 2 months of this bio-DNA cellular marine complex, and together with some vitamins B and E. The benefits were seen at the first month of the treatment. Much of the pain associated with inflammatory of the joints in the pain at the joints were relieved up to about 90%, which is very high in most of the cases, and 20% were considered complete relief. All right. Physical performance will also improve, to be seen in about 84% of the cases. In conclusion, it's shown to be effective as a therapy for inflammatory joint pain.
Yeah, I would like to share that this is a friend of mine's elder sister. You know, because if like what you say, the ingredient is really good in promoting healing, right? Healing of the joint and healing of the cells. Then speeding up healing is really, really important, especially when you break a bone. Yeah, this is my friend Hang Piao's elder sister. She sustained a bone fracture 2 years ago. Well, you can see from the pictures that the doctor immobilized the arm and told her that there was nothing he could do except for the bone to kind of heal back naturally by itself over a couple of months. And due to her age, the doctor told her that it might expect to take up to half a year or maybe even more. Hang Piao was anxious, of course, is her elder sister. He immediately put her on Celergen, taking 2 soft gel every morning. And he was really delightful that he found the sister healed very, very quickly. And within just 3 months, she was back in the kitchen doing her usual cooking, and even went on a tour to China with her family. And I have another testimony here. I apologize for the photograph. It looked a bit scary, yeah. But these are all real photographs from Mr. Tan from Indonesia. And he was really happy for having saved his foot, I would say, yeah. Now, due to his diabetic condition, his foot wound literally turned gangrene almost, and he was close to being sent for amputation. Now, a friend of his recommended him to try Celergen. Fortunately, he responded well and his condition gradually improved. And a year later, his wound managed to heal, like what you saw. It was really only when he came to Singapore and visited us in our office that we got to learn of his amazing story. And he showed us all his picture, and obviously we all celebrated with him tremendously. Yeah, Gerald?
Yes, wow, that is an amazing story about that foot that he able to save his foot. But let me go on another ingredient on this product designed in Celergen, which is called grape skin extract. And what is the benefit of this ingredient? It's beneficial for the heart. How? I can tell you that it reduces arterial plaque, which improves endothelial function, vascular function from aging. That means to say it helps to clear the blood vessels within our body. And if you can see the diagram over there, you can see the yellow plaques. Yeah. And those are the plaques which are the ones that are blocking. And these plaques can be caused by, again, imbalanced diet and not having good exercise also. But to clear it suddenly is going to be damaging, because it's like clearing a drainage, and where the debris is going to go to another place. So you're bringing the problem to another place. So a gradual decrease of the plaque is needed, and it reduces the brain plaques within the head to improve Alzheimer's condition. It has also shown to increase neurogenesis, which improves our spatial learning and our memory. It improves the insulin sensitivity, protects the skin against natural harmful UV, and it reduces cancer proliferation. And the most important thing, those who are physically active, it gives better blood circulation, and after that, supports the muscle recovery in all sporting activities. Also good for the heart, since we're talking about the heart, is coenzyme 10. I think some of you are taking this supplement. It's an antioxidant that is made in the human, but it's not made in much quantity. I would say you need to have a supplementation if you need to have an elevated amount. And what it does is that it's made for basic cell function of growth and of maintenance. So the QN10 has shown to help recovery in people who have had bypass of the heart and heart valve surgery. These, and also the clinical evidence of migraines alleviation and some improvement in Parkinson's diseases. So the level of this coenzyme 10 reduces with age and with illness that you are having. But because this coenzyme 10 involved in energy production, it is believed that supplementation will improve your physical performance. Over to you, Alvin.
Yeah, I would like to share one very delightful story of my good friend. This is Don Fu. He retired as a president of his Japanese company. And at the age of 66, suddenly he discovered that his heart valve shows sign of leakage. And that is really not a good thing, yeah? And the doctor says that he needed a heart valve replacement surgery. Well, he called me for advice and started on Celergen immediately. It's almost like a last resort to see if he can escape the high-risk surgery. Amazingly, after 2 weeks on Celergen, he was put on the final test by his doctor prior to the operations. Yeah, the doctor was quite surprised to kind of observe some indicators of improvement in certain markers, you know. So the doctor decided to delay the operation for 3 months and do another test, right? Don's conditions continued to improve even more, and the operations was delayed repeatedly. His test also went from every 3 months to every 6 monthly. and now it's every yearly. I'm glad to say that Don will be celebrating his 71st birthday next month, and he's still keeping the surgery out with taking one soft gel of Celergen every single morning.
Wow, it's a marvelous thing for him.
Yeah, we are all very, very happy that he could avert this. And not that he might permanently prevent this operation, but if we can delay such major operation for as long as possible, why not, right?
Indeed.
How about the next ingredient, Gerald?
Yeah, the next important content which needs to be mentioned is that this Hydro MN Peptide, an active ingredient from the marine extract. In a study, I was looking into the study of this when I was before I took Celergen, and in 2015, it's quite a recent study under PMC clinical publication on marine peptides having high potential nutraceutical and medicinal values because of their broad spectrum of bioactivities. It is such a wide spectrum that there's a whole list of wonders that you have. You have antimicrobial properties with this. You have also antiviral, you have anti-tumor, antioxidative, cardioprotective, antihypertensive, anti-sclerotic, immune modulatory, analgesic, anti-diabetic, appetite suppressant. The list goes on. This is some wonderful content that is inside Celergen. And all these have attracted the attention of the big pharmaceutical and nutraceutical industries, which they are attempting to design using this component for their treatment or prevention of various diseases in their portfolio of products. So present in Hydro MN Peptide is chondroitin sulfate, which gives connective tissues and cartilage resistance to compression, the structure for ligaments and tendons, skin and bone. And along with glucosamine, it's used for treatment most popularly with osteoarthritis, or OA for short.
I was just to comment that, when I first introduced Celergen to my good friend and my cousin, in fact, Gerald Choo, he asked literally 1,001 questions. And of course, right, being someone with 30 years in the pharmaceutical industry, he literally reads clinical trial reports like he's eating breakfast, and really he has studied all that, and in fact what he has just shed lights on how it helped another very good friend of mine. His name is Chong Ping. This is his auntie, Auntie Ong, we call her. She was 82 years old at that point in time. Her knee was totally worn out, and she was scheduled for knee replacement for both her knees. Let me tell you, knee replacement in Singapore is really quite expensive. It's 25,000 per knee. So replacing two knees would require 50,000 Singapore dollars. Now, Chong Ping's sister, Dr. Nellie Chong, is the only doctor for the entire family. And she knew the power of Celergen. And so she put her Auntie Ong to start taking Celergen before the scheduled surgery, thinking that it would help her to kind of perk her up, cellularly, so that it will help her to recover faster from the surgery. But no one expected that it turned out that Celergen actually helped her knee condition. On the final checkup prior to the operations, a little bit like Dawn Fu's story just now, she walked into the doctor's clinic, and the doctor noticed her way of walking, it was very different from previously. He asked her in dialect, in the Singaporean dialect, Chinese dialect, if she still felt pains. She said, no, not much, Doctor then suggested that why not she postpone her operation, given her age, because at 80 plus, going for operation is always a little bit risky, right? So she continued to improve, leads even a more healthier and active life, and even won in the picture here a prize in the mahjong competition subsequently. Well, I'm glad to announce and update everyone that till today, she's still holding out that knee operations, okay? Till further notice. Yeah, Gerald?
Wow, okay. I need to learn to play mahjong too. But I want to go on to something whereby clinically shown that there is this ingredient that is also present in Celergen, that N peptide supplementation. It facilitates good blood glucose stabilization. All right. And with this marine peptide, fat-free marine peptide, it reduces the obesity, removing type 2 diabetes symptoms and induced satiety feeling. Now, induced satiety means that it will help the person feel full. So you don't always keep binging and eating and non-stop with your mouth. So what this means is now proven to reduce glucose impact and promotes satiation. Results of preliminary clinical studies and trials that show that food with marine type supplementation will give better glycemic control.
I think the glycemic control aspects of it is a very important advantage, okay, for many people. I would like to share this particular story of this gentleman called Nani Amelda from the Philippines. Actually, she's a very good friend of another very good friend of mine. My good friend is the name Jeannie. Jeannie, Jeannie, are you in the room? Because if you're in the room, I'd rather you share this story yourself, because that's how you have really transformed Mr. Nani's life, you know.
Yes, hi Alvin.
Hi, Jeannie.
Everyone.
Yeah, please proceed to share this story and.
Okay, yeah, hi. Nani is a good friend of mine, and his story inspired a lot of people, especially those people who are suffering with diabetes. And Nani is one of my those few people that I shared Celergen from the very beginning, and I'm glad that he agreed to try Celergen. So Nani suffered from, of course, diabetes for 7 years. He's been injecting insulin about 70 units, and for 7 years of injecting every day. And so when I introduced Celergen to him, he started with it, and after 7 months, that's the only time that he went back to his doctor for a regular checkup. And he was amazed because the doctor told him, like, asked him, Nani, what have you been doing? Because it's the first time that I saw your lab test result was phenomenal. And actually, you don't need to inject insulin anymore. He was so happy with the result that he called me and said, thank you, because, you know, now I'm so free. I don't need insulin anymore because the doctor told me that. And this story inspired a lot of people. And actually, the first time that Dr. Lucero was about to take Celergen, he called Nani and confirmed that, hey, are you not injecting insulin anymore? Because they both play golf. And yes, he confirmed. And until now, he's on it. And he is happy, enjoying his life, supporting his family, and of course his son, who is, going to enter in politics. So he's so energetic and lively every day, and he's so thankful of Celergen. Thank you, Alvin.
Wow, thank you for sharing. I mean, I'm really glad that we have the opportunity to share some of these real stories with many people from different parts of the world, and we just hope that Nani's story may just turn on to help someone else, who is in need. Yeah. Gerald, how about the next ingredient? This is a famous ingredient it's commonly known to a lot of people as well.
Yes, I'm glad I can hear ingredients and that comes together in Celergen that helps so many people. And this important content is called lutein, and it's a well-researched antioxidant, usually mainly preventing eye diseases of cataracts, retinitis, that means your retina inflammation, pigmentosa, glaucoma, you can see floaters, So interestingly, lutein slows down the age-related cognitive decline and eventually recover the damaged cognitive functions in preserving the nerve efficiency, types of dementia in patients like in Alzheimer's diseases. There is, I know there are some doctors I can see in the group itself. So So something for the doctors. Slattery et al. Observed that 17% reduced risk of developing colon cancer, even in daily lutein consumption. Apart from the eye, there are other users too. So another showed lower risk of pancreatic cancer that were reported. And moreover, lutein appeared to be protective against breast cancer in 3 clinical studies and others in the head and neck cancer. But again, in a recent study, meta-analysis published, that means they collected all the studies, meta-analysis, meaning they collect all the different clinical studies under PubMed Central in 2018 that included studies enrolling more than 350,000 patients and participants. A huge amount of body of study concluded that lutein consumption is associated with better cardiovascular health and lowering of stroke. So in summary, there's evidence that lutein is both good in protection for the eye, and also it's a cardioprotective factor, and there are some anti-cancer properties. So lutein-rich diet in fruits, vegetables, you may also like to put as supplementation, which might be encouraged, particularly as we go along our advance in years. All right?
Yeah, sometimes, you know, when you take all these ingredients individually, not only it is very expensive, but at the same time, it may not gel in a very synergistic manner. So I'm really glad that Celergen has kind of combined all these things in a blend, in a formulation that really has proven to work very well. As for lutein, I would like to share this particular story. I met this gentleman last year when I was invited to the Mindanao area in the Philippines, in a city called Iligan City. It was my first time there. I was so amazed to hear his story. Now, this gentleman, Jeremy, he suffered from a genetic disorder known as Marfan syndrome. And it has already blinded one of his eyes. So he's moving around with just one eye. And then in 2017, his remaining eye started to deteriorate very rapidly and needing a very urgent surgery. Well, he started on Celergen a week prior to his major operation. When I met him in person, he was so thankful. He said that thanks to Celergen, it helped him to recover very rapidly and supported the restoration of his only eye vision left. I'm glad to announce that he's now back at work as a teacher. And standing next to him is the wife, the short ones, and the other one is my very good friend and my business partner, Gina Ilade, who is also in the room here. So you want to know more about Jeremy's story, you could just text Gina and find out more detail about it, okay? And I would like to share one more story about eye, because glaucoma is also a very common condition. It's related to old people most of the time, and it is a disease that can blind a person. Here is my very good friend, Tengi, and that is her mother. Tengi, are you in the room here? Tengi,
Yes.
could I? Oh, I'd love to hear your voice. Tengi, could you share about your mother's story so that you can probably your story could help many others as well?
Okay. My mom currently this year is 80 years old. She started Celergen when about a year after it was launched. And I have given her, because she was already aging, at the same time, she has these glaucoma issues where the eye pressure gets very high. And it gets dry easily, and she needs to rely on eye drops. The eye drops has some side effects. It actually makes her eyes even more sensitive, and it's always red. You know, it's always red, and she said in the morning when she wakes up, the discharge are so much that she needs to clean it really well before she can fully open her eyes. And due to all this, she is finding problem really watching TV or even using her iPad. So I gave it to her, but I dare not tell her that it's cell therapy, or it's too complex for her to understand. So I just told her it's vitamin for your eyes. It will help you for your eyes. So she took religiously, and she noticed that she doesn't need to rely on eye drops so often anymore. And in fact, she feels very good, comfortable. And when I look at her, I see that her eyes are not red all the time like last time. And in addition to that, her stamina improved. When she climbs the stairs to go to the upper floor of the house, she doesn't pant anymore. So that was the time she started asking, is this really just for the eyes? Because I noticed something different. And overall, she's now 80 and she's very healthy, still traveling, still moving about. And I'm very thankful for Celergen because I feel that the best gift I can give her is her health. Thank you.
Indeed, indeed. I recall that you were very anxious and worried at that point in time because your mother lives far away in the US with your brother.
Yep.
And you are far away here, so you can't tend to her or even serve her in any way, right?
Yes.
And just thinking that she might be suffering down there, and with a condition like glaucoma that can possibly lead to even blindness, it must be something that is torturous for you.
Yep.
I'm so happy that you are happy that your mother is happy.
Yes, we are all happy.
Yeah, thank you very much for your sharing. Yeah. Gerald, could you just go on and about one last active ingredient in Celergen? Explain to us what is Peptide E Collagen.
Yeah, before I say that, congratulations again, Tanguy, on your mother's remarkable recovery and improvement. Yeah. So yes, we have another active ingredient from marine extract called Peptide E Collagen. So what does it do? You have all the points over there. I have a beautiful recent study published in PMC 2019 recently and was conducted for the benefit of those who are in medical inclined. It's randomized, blind, placebo-controlled study. All right.
Wow.
So, okay, a total of 72 female ladies aged 35 years or more with healthy skin of any type in this study were included, but the main exclusion criteria were those with major chronic skin diseases or major internal chronic diseases whereby the intake of drugs may impact their skin on their skin reactions. So 72 were in this cohort of studies, and results found that collagen peptide supplement, in this case, improves the skin hydration, the elasticity, the roughness, wrinkling, and the density of the skin. Finally, they also concluded that the supplement did not help this component of peptide E collagen, did not cause any side effects, and proved to be safe and well tolerated through the entire period. Interestingly, like one component, there are many users, it has also an analgesic effect. That means it effectively reduces the transmission of pain. And with the other ingredients added with peptide E collagen, it will also improve cellular development. That means improvement our cells development and provide protection for the cartilage and even has anti-inflammatory effects for the joints.
Wow.
Think about that.
Yeah, collagen everybody know, but when you go in depth into kind of like really decoding the entire peptide E collagen, it gives so much more insight and information to all of us to digest. Yeah, and this is really what makes you point, you know, that gives you that youthfulness and all. And I have a story to share, and I will not use a young lady, I'll use a really senior matured lady. And this Madam Yo started taking Celergen at the age of 88. If you look at that photograph, you could see that now she has a lot of wrinkles, and so that really was a good test for the impact of Celergen on someone with regards to collagen enhancement, all right, the effect of collagen enhancement. I would like to direct you to the third picture where after 2 years on Celergen, at the age of 90, I think most people will agree that she looked more youthful, more energetic, more vital than she was 88. And if you look at the eyes, you know, it's the same pair of spectacle, but the amount of life force that exude from that, irradiate from that. I'm really happy for Madam Yo. And Madam Yo was introduced to Celergen by her daughter, Chun Gyok. And every time I see this photograph, you know, it brings smile to my eyes. In fact, my own parents, they are all on Celergen. My father is over 80 years old, 85 now, and he's happily popping a soft gel of Celergen every day. It helps him to be vital, to have the overall well-being to go about. And I think I agree with what Tengi said just now. For those of us who are fortunate to have our parents who are still alive, I think Celergen really is the best gift for our aging parents, because what they want is not to go around the world, it's not expensive material things anymore. And they just want to have really good health so that they bring less burden to the children and they can move around, be mobile, lead an active aging life, you know, and less pain, not needing caregiver, not needing a wheelchair to move around, and not lying sick in bed. That really is the greatest gift. And if we could delay the aging, and this is what Celergen does, it slows down the aging. If we could slow it down and delay as much of the degenerative illnesses as far back as possible, I think that is what quality life is really all about. I would like to now turn back on to Gerald, because the next few slides is his favorite. Yeah, because he told me that he used to take clinical trial report for breakfast. All right. And there's this particular scientific research that we, Avita, commissioned into studying the effect of Celergen on human cancer cell. Well, Gerald, take it away from here.
Yes, I was digging through a body of papers and I stumbled on a few things. This is number one, pleasantly surprised, and an interesting scientific paper on Celergen on human liver cancer in Drug and Discoveries Therapeutics 2013 by Catanzaro and Associates. The aim of this study was to look for potential anti-cancer effect of Celergen in human liver. And the results in the lab study, they found that clinically inhibition or proliferation of cancer cells in dose-dependent manner limited the cell cycle. That means to say, each time you add a little bit more in terms of Celergen, the more the potency will increase and the more it will inhibit the proliferation, that means the growth of the cells. And if you can see, up to 73% reduction from the time of starting the study up to towards the end, where the dose increase the concentration itself. So it helps to make the cells go into a self-destruction mode. It is exciting that even promoting natural cancerous cell death, it seems that the cancer cells can somehow wake up. You are not well. You should not be staying alive. You should be dying now. So this is what it is doing. For those cells which are not working very well, it is trying to make sure the cells go into a self-destruction mode. So this figure simply states that 30%, up to 30% of cancer cells self-destruct with Celergen present versus no Celergen at all. Yeah. And I put these three charts together, all right, is to make it simpler for you all, is that the effects of Celergen on both the life cycle of the cell and the self-destruction mechanism were examined and looked upon closely using real-time scientific measurement. And the significant destruction markers, that means what you can see that the cell is self-destruction. The chart on the left, you see the top two highest, that's where the tumor suppressor inhibition proliferation, that means this P53 increase. And then the second chart, you see at the middle, is GAT153. After a few days, the human liver cancer cells tend to die. And then the rate of this increases, the markers increases. The third chart on the right, you see the last with the asterisk on the top, it decreases activity of the oncogene cells. This is the CMYC cell. This is a cancer cell. Okay, so this is an oncogene and it decreases. That means to say the cell is responding to what Celergen, the presence of Celergen within the medium itself. All right. So it is good to reduce CMYC, a cancer gene that is responsible for all these dreaded diseases in the body, isn't it? Is it? You
Very
can
much. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So to reduce that is important, right? So this oncogene is the driver for many top killers in the world. All right. In the world, you can see what are the top killers. I think you need to click again. Yeah. So for male, all right, lung, colon, liver, stomach, pancreas, prostate, top 5. For lady, breast, lung, colon, liver, stomach, pancreas, all these. Now, interestingly, why is the lung also for ladies? Because for ladies, don't think that you don't smoke is okay. You're also exposed to passive smoking, which will in turn, the free radicals will affect your cells, all right, see? Especially in the lung. And when you cook, lots of smoke, so be careful of breathing in all those, okay? So it affects your lung too. That's why they have the hot cooker hob on the top of the kitchen nowadays. Yeah.
Good advice.
Yes. So there's following another study, 2013, Avita initiated a second study on the effect of Celergen in pancreatic cancer cells, where a 5-year survival rate for pancreatic cancer is less than 5%. And once you get it, it spreads very fast. All right. So published in Acta Biomed 2014 by Roberto and Associates. The purpose of this study is to assess the effect of Celergen, a popular marine nutraceutical, against tumor cell invasion in human and in pancreatic cells specifically. And the effect of, they put there in their paper, they put interleukin 6. IL-6 is a inflammatory marker. That means once this goes up, in other words, you're going to have problems in your cancer organs, okay? The cancer condition is getting worse. So which person that succumbs to pancreatic cancer, can recall anyone that died of pancreatic cancer? Famous person? Type in the chat group if you remember anyone. Start with the name Steve.
We have someone wrote there Apple Jobs.
Or somebody put Apple Jobs, huh? Okay, Steve Jobs. Yeah. So in this case, what were the findings? The findings are what you can see now. Okay. The blue bars are those that added with Celergen. The untreated cells are the one that is behind the gray ones. So the decrease in untreated cells versus the treated cells is by up to 50%. In clinical terms, it is statistically significant. That means the p-value of more than 0.5% for those who are medically inclined in here. Now, remember, lowering of IL-6 or interleukin-6 means better survival rate. So this highly lethal disease is usually diagnosed in an advanced stage with very medium survival time after diagnosis. Usually, once you are diagnosed, it's about 6 months you have left. And the presence of this data suggests that Celergen, the marine bioceutical, may exert beneficial regulation of the inflammatory markers, which is the IL-6 interleukin-6 interaction in cancer. So how do you see this, Alvin?
Yeah, this is one of the reasons that I personally myself started taking Celergen the moment it comes out in 2009. My mother passed away due to cancer herself when I was 7 years old. So it is known that in my DNA that it might be a predisposition to cancer developing within my lifetime, right? And so when the way you analyze it, and then if CMYC gene expression can be reduced, if IL-6 interleukin protein can be enhanced, and all these are good news for most of us, because most of the time you have no idea whether you are harnessing a potential for cancer development, and cancer develop over a long period of time, but by the moment you identify, it might just be too late, like the case for my own mother. So this is why I feel that while we are not claiming that Celergen will definitely prevent cancer at all and for everybody, but if there is a higher chance to make our cell healthier and to reduce the chances of it worsening or degrading into a cancer development, and if, like, all the scientific research has shown that it is able to remind the cells that, hey, look, when you're supposed to die, please die. You know, that's the hypothesis. It is good news. Now, I have a friend. Her name is Amy Chong. This was a photo taken in 2015, right? In 2014 September, she was diagnosed with a very aggressive form of breast cancer. She underwent mastectomy immediately, and then followed by 14 months of very high dosage of chemotherapy and radiotherapy. I was introduced to her. She asked me about Celergen. I encouraged her to start on it. So she started Celergen as well as Vita 18 enzyme drink, another Avita product, right about the time when she just got started with her chemo. So her battle with cancer was impressively smooth over the next 14 months. This picture that you're seeing here was taken on the 25th of November. We remember that date very clearly because that was her last day of chemotherapy. She came along with her son. The son is the gentleman in black t-shirt. They were very happy. And she was showing us the pinkish nail. I couldn't quite understand why was she showing me the pinkish nail. And actually, it is a story that comes from her oncologist when she was, the lady doctor, when she was signing her off and say that, bye-bye, you're cancer-free, you know. The lady doctor told her that, how I wished that all my other cancer patients can be just like you. You know, look at your nail, you know, you don't look like a cancer patient. Apart from the hair that fell off, you don't look like a cancer patient. You have very little nausea feeling. Even your nails are all pinkish, not blackish like all the other cancer patients. So she was very happy. Amy continued to consume Celergen. This was a picture taken in 2017. She is an educational director in an international kindergarten. She lives in Kuching, East Malaysia. So she comes to Singapore for a medical checkup, and every time she will pop in to replenish her Celergen. So this was a picture taken in 2017, 2018, and last year she came in November 2019. That was the last time I met her before the COVID-19 virus came on. She called me just yesterday to place some order for Celergen that we will be flying in the Celergen to her in Kuching. We're very, very happy for her. And I wish that she will remain cancer-free and enjoy a good, long, healthy life, you know, and that is what really living a good life is really all about, isn't it? Yeah, Gerald?
Yes, it's an amazing story about her.
Yeah.
And, she still looks good, actually.
Yeah, she looks, it looks like she doesn't age, isn't it? You look at her from 2017 to 2019, and we're very happy for that.
Yeah. And
it's a side effect of Celergen, but yeah, I mean, looking forever youthful is also very important for many people. I'm sure many of you agree, right? Do you all agree? If you all agree, type agree that you want to look good and youthful forever. And actually, the next research is going to talk about skin as well. So, Gerald, why don't you decode this complicated scientific research here for everybody?
okay, this preliminary study shows that such marine nutraceutical containing DNA, collagen, elastin, and protein extract has been recently shown to exhibit strong skin protecting effect against mutagenic UV radiation. That means to say it helps to protect the skin against the ultraviolet radiation that we have all around us. So this is by Francisco again and associates. So what happened is that from this rejuvenation research published in 2011, the skin is the largest human organ in our human body and the only organ to be directly exposed to UV radiation, not our internal organs, but all our external skin. So UV radiation is one of the causative factors, in DNA damage, in inflammatory response. That means it will be inflamed. It causes our DNA, that means our cells' DNA, to be affected. and induces a range of lesions, that means a range of problems known to us like, very simply, skin aging and skin cancer. So for this study, full thickness sun protected skin was taken from live human, not in the lab, from real human skin. Biopsies were obtained from 22 years old to 32-year-old people. All are healthy donors. And the findings here, simply saying that with CL1222, if you saw that one, means that with Celergen, that is the code for Celergen, it showed statistically significant elastic activity inhibition, more than 54%, which represents a useful approach to protect the skin against aging. And for those who understand clinical study, it is with p-value over less than 0.01. All right, significant. So in conclusion, these studies, preliminary studies, show that such a marine nutraceutical extract can provide very significant protection against ultraviolet irradiation, given its safety profile.
Yeah, well, it's not like Celergen is a miracle supplement, but it has achieved quite a lot of miraculous benefit for so many thousand people all over the world over the last 11 years.
That is right. But actually, in summary, I find that Celergen to be an all-rounder after talking about all this. So one soft gel a day for maintenance really keeps our cell nourished with the best of supplementation. But during this time, to start on with, you can take 2 capsules, 2 soft gels. After that, you're down to maintenance as later on. So thank you, Alvin, for recommending Celergen to my whole family. I want to thank you on that. It helped my mom, and she looked much radiant now after over 6 to 9 months of Celergen. And it has helped my daughter, who have had a broken bone and torn a bit of dislodged bone in the joint, the ligament with the swelling joint. So with Celergen, it helped her, and we helped to relieve her condition, and she can walk again much faster and able to attend rehab in a much shorter time and able to get back on her feet again. And I appreciate that so much, Alvin.
Thank you. I mean, sharing good things with good friends, and especially with good cousins, it's more than my passion. And that's really what my Avita business is really all about. Yeah. And in fact, that should be what life should be all about, right? To help someone else become better, become healthier, become more joyful. And really brings me great happiness and joy to see you, especially your mother and your entire family, enjoying better health,
Mm-hmm.
Now, I just like to kind of like, in summary also, to capture all the special kind of feature of Celergen. You could see here, there are 4 really important ones. The first one is that all the bio-DNA extract from the marine has proven to be very, very rich super antioxidant, and that's extremely important for all of us. I think like what Gerald has enlightened all of us, that now we are at an onslaught of free radical from both inside our body as well as the external environment and all the stresses. So having good antioxidant will then be able to neutralize the onslaught of free radicals, okay? Secondly is that not many of us here might know that Celergen is produced using co-extraction proprietary technology by the Swiss, a very high technology lab, And what does it mean? You see, most of these supplements and food in the marketplace are extracted using heat, and that is actually a cheaper way of doing it. But extracting the raw ingredient, especially the bio-DNA active ingredient from the source material, using co-extraction, it is more expensive and more complicated, right? But on the other hand, because it's co-extraction, it preserves the bioactive structure and ingredient, the rawness of the quality. And this is why Celergen has very, very high super raw quality, as raw as possible to the original food source. Yeah. And third is that it's synergistically blended. I think thanks to Gerald with his pharmaceutical knowledge and the ability to analyze and really make very complex scientific data information very easy for all of us to digest. the synergistically blended multi-ingredient that work in concert and complementary to one another is really important. I think a lot of the benefits that we have observed over the last 11 years in so many thousand people must be due to this synergistic blend of very, very good quality active ingredient that coming together and working in concert. And finally is that Celergen is actually enteric coated. In other words, the coating of the soft gel is called enteric coating. What it means is that it can withstand the very high aggressive gastric acids in your stomach. So it preserves the ingredient in there. It does not break in the stomach, okay? But when it gets into your small intestine, which is a slightly alkaline environment compared to the high acidic environment in the stomach, it's programmed and designed to immediately dissolve in your small intestine. And what it does is that it then releases all the ingredient that is already pre-digested in that sense. You know, in a layman term, it's like a pre-digested thing. So we do not need to digest Celergen. Celergen ingredients are already pre-digested. Once it gets into the small intestine, it releases it, and immediately it gets absorbed by your small intestine and get transported to all the relevant areas in your body to replenish the good nourishment to all the cells in your body. And that is why it is very, very high efficacy. And that is also one of the reasons why, for some people, when they take Celergen, even within weeks, now typically, because it's cellular therapy, you will need to be patient because your cell have got cycle. It's like a life cycle. Some cells have very short life cycle, like 7 days, like blood, you know. But some cells have very long life cycle, like 2 months, even 3 months, you know. So typically, many of the cells kind of grow, die, and grow baby cell within, on average, about every month, you know, you have a lot of cells that are replenished. So typically, you need to be patient and give your cell about 2 to 3 months for cell therapy effect for your cell to be recalibrated and to start experiencing benefits. But because of this high efficacy, some user might even start to see benefit within a week or two, you know. So that is really very, very encouraging. Now, no wonder that many top some of these doctors are really top anti-aging doctors in Beverly Hills in America. They are the one who coined this very nice term for Celergen. They say that it's the Rolls Royce of supplement for human beings, you know. And not only the doctors in America, the top dermatologist society in Europe are highly recommending Celergen for aesthetic and as well as for skin regeneration, healthy skin regeneration. Now in Asia, there are many doctors in Thailand, in Philippines. So I showcase some of the doctors here from the Philippines. There are anti-aging stem cell doctors. There are orthopedic surgeons who treat sports, professional sports athletes and basketball player in the Philippines. They are all they're not only just highly recommending to their client, they are all on Celergen themselves for years and years already. So we are very happy that, you know, Celergen has really made an impact on many people, including many people in Singapore and across Asia. Now, Celergen is actually distributed by the Avita network, comprising professionally trained distributor like Gerald and me, okay, in 9 countries across Asia. We are very, very proud to have the opportunity and the honor to be of service to a combined population of over 750 million people across Asia. Yeah. My business has only 2 roles for which I enjoy tremendously. First is to provide consumer education, which is what Gerald and I have been doing this afternoon, this beautiful Sunday afternoon, so that more people will understand the science and the arts behind Celergen. The goodness of Celergen will be made known and be made available to as many people as possible and possibly transform and change their lives. And my other role in my Avita business is to build up a global team of distributors, providing professional training to help them so that they can grow their own global team. And in that way, we co-create a multinational network enterprise for leverage on one another. And we love to travel. So many of us, we love to travel. We travel. Of course, now we can't, but we are Zooming, and it's an international audience like today here. So for those of you who might be keen to explore joining us in promoting the goodness of Celergen and turning it into a professional and international business for yourself, we'll be happy to invite you back next Thursday, coming Thursday at 7:30 Singapore time, when we will be speaking exclusively about the Celergen business. Wow, really, that is actually a multi-million-dollar opportunity. Yeah. So I hope that in this short afternoon sharing, we have 11 years of accumulated experiences. So if you were to sit down with me, I can talk non-stop for the whole 3 days, 3 nights, you know. But I hope that in this short sharing, we have condensed a lot of useful information to share with you. I hope that you have taken something good out of it. I appreciate each and every one of you for joining us here. And it's really my sincere wish that Celergen will also transform the health of you and your family, like how it has done for me, my parents, my wife, my daughter, and my good friends, my cousins, you know. And I especially want to thank Gerald for sharing his professional knowledge, his 30 years, 3 decades of pharmaceutical knowledge, and for so skillfully making all the scientific information that are so difficult to digest, but so easy for many of us to understand. Gerald, thank you very, very much.
You're welcome, and I appreciate this opportunity to contribute all my humble knowledge over the years. And thanks to Alvin for sharing so many inspiring stories for me on Celergen. And I certainly hope that you too, each one of you out there, will get to experience the amazing goodness, proven results for yourselves and for your whole family. Back over to you again, Veronica.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. I hope everybody enjoy. Veron, are you muted?
Oh, sorry. Yes. Thank you very much, Alvin and Gerald. That is such a wealth of information this afternoon. And we will be answering your questions towards the end. But first of all, I'd like to get everyone to turn on your video so we can take a group photo. So turn on to your gallery view. Alvin, are you taking photo? Or?
Yeah, I could take the photo. Wow, there are 4 pages, so I will be snapping 4 photographs, okay?
Okay, so everyone, thumbs up. Away, very good, thank you.
Okay, first, page 1. 1, 2, 3, cheese. Okay, now page 2.
Page 2.
1, 2, 3, cheese.
Cheese.
You got a cheese, okay? Because we have no idea which page
we don't know.
on.
Yeah, we don't know which page you're on. So smile,
page
cheese.
3, cheese. And then now page 4, cheese. All right.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, so everyone, invest on your body wellness and with immediate action to get started on experiencing the Celergen goodness, specially customized for this session. Own a starter pack of 6 boxes created just for you and your family. Take 2 soft gels every day on an empty stomach for the first 3 months, and for initial recalibration of your cellular health condition. After that, you may continue with 1 soft gel every day from the 4th month. Decide to take ownership of your health today by investing for as low as 1,980 Singapore dollars for this starter pack of 6 boxes. And you can fill up the online form by clicking on the link indicated in the chat, or simply scan the QR code on the screen. Or better still, do approach your friend who invited you to this talk, who will be able to help you to put in your order. Celergen retails internationally for Singapore dollars, $473 per box. But for today, we're giving you a 30% savings just by attending this talk this afternoon. So as August is Avita's 13th anniversary, we also have a special promotion due to end at the end of August. So tomorrow is the last day. It's 31st of August on Monday. And this promotion is for 13 boxes plus 1 plus 5 boxes of Celergen for a total of 5,914 Singapore dollars. So please send in your order by 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, on Monday morning. And then, so this happens like once a year, so that we have this anniversary promotion. So now you have seen the proof of how and heard of how Celergen has benefited so many people. And we welcome those of you to explore the Celergen distribution business, connecting to the rest of Asia and the world. Indicate here on the online form, and we'll invite you back next Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Singapore time to join us in the excitement and hearing firsthand on the Celergen business preview. Lastly, this Zoom session will remain open for a further 15 minutes for the benefit of those who wish to ask questions of our two speakers. And you're most welcome to stay and listen. And for those who want to be with your family, we wish you a pleasant Sunday afternoon. Thank you.